Imagine living in Germany during the Cold War. One country. Two completely different worlds. On one side of the Berlin Wall, families dreamed of owning a Volkswagen Beetle. On the other side, many families waited more than 10 years just to receive a Trabant. These weren't just cars. They became symbols of two competing systems, capitalism in the West and communism in the East. But which one was actually the better automobile? Let's find out. Few automobiles tell the story of the Cold War better than these two icons. The Volkswagen Beetle became the face of West Germany's economic recovery after World War II. Affordable, dependable, and exported worldwide, it represented freedom of choice and the country's growing prosperity. Meanwhile, the Trabant 601 became East Germany's people's car. Because East Germany operated under a planned economy, production couldn't keep up with demand. Even if you had enough money, buying a Trabant often meant waiting 10 to 15 years. For millions of East Germans, receiving the keys to a Trabant was a life-changing moment. The biggest difference wasn't just the price. It was whether you could actually buy one. In West Germany, anyone with enough money could walk into a dealership and order a Volkswagen Beetle. In East Germany, a Trabant wasn't simply purchased. It was allocated through the state's planned economy. Although its official price was lower, shortages sometimes made used Trabants sell for even more than brand new ones. It was one of the most unusual car markets in automotive history. Under the hood, the Trabant used a 600 cubic centimeter, two-cylinder, two-stroke engine, producing just 26 horsepower and reaching a top speed of around 100 kilometers per hour. Simple, noisy, and smoky, but remarkably easy to repair. The Beetle featured several air-cooled flat-4 engines over the years, producing between 25 and more than 50 horsepower, with top speeds of up to 130 kilometers per hour. It was smoother, quieter, and noticeably more refined. Inside the Trabant, practicality came first. The dashboard was simple, the seats were basic, and many body panels were made from Duraplast, a lightweight composite material developed because steel was in short supply. The Beetle offered a more comfortable cabin, better ergonomics, and a higher overall build quality. Neither car was luxurious, but one clearly reflected a consumer-focused market. The other reflected an economy where durability and availability mattered more than comfort. Despite their differences, both cars became famous for reliability. The Trabant could survive harsh conditions with minimal maintenance, and owners often repaired it themselves using basic tools. The Beetle became one of the most reliable cars ever built, with millions sold around the world, and countless examples still running today. Fuel economy was respectable for both. The Trabant averaged around 6 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers, while the Beetle typically consumed 7 to 9 liters per 100 kilometers, depending on the engine. The Trabant was driven by teachers, factory workers, engineers, and families across East Germany. The Beetle became a global icon, owned by students, families, travelers, and drivers in more than 150 countries. One served a nation, the other served the world. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, thousands of Trabants crossed into West Germany for the very first time. The image of long lines of colorful Trabants passing through the open border became one of the defining moments of the end of the Cold War. Today, Volkswagen Beetles can still be found on roads across the globe. The Trabant has become much rarer, preserved mainly by collectors and museums as a reminder of a divided Germany. The Trabant and the Volkswagen Beetle were never just cars. They reflected two very different ways of life. One became a symbol of East Germany, the other became a symbol of freedom, opportunity, and global success. So here's the question. If you could take one home today, which would you choose? The Trabant or the Volkswagen Beetle? And more importantly, which car tells the more fascinating story of the Cold War? Let us know in the comments.